The fire crackled in the cozy living room of my parents' cabin at Pine Lake, but the warmth couldn't touch the chill in my heart. "How could you be so selfish?" my father bellowed, his face flushed as he paced. "Your sister needs that money for her startup. You've got plenty to spare." I stood frozen, clutching a property tax bill they'd just shoved at me. What was supposed to be a relaxed Sunday dinner had turned into a showdown about my failure to keep supporting them. "My name's Nora Bennett, I'm 35, and I've built a solid career as a self-taught stock trader. Every dollar I have, I earned through late nights analysing markets and taking smart risks. For years, I'd paid the taxes on this cabin, covered my younger sister Claire's car payments, and funded family trips without a peep. But that night, everything changed. "Dad," I said, my voice steadier than I felt. "I've been paying for this place for 6 years. Claire's car, Mum's hospital bills, vacations. I've never asked for anything back, but I can't keep doing this forever." My mother sat on the couch, staring at her hands, avoiding my gaze. That hurt worse than Dad's yelling. "We raised you, gave you everything," he snapped, ignoring me. "And now when Claire's trying to build something, you're bailing on us?" That's when I saw it, an envelope on the coffee table, half hidden under a fishing magazine. The corner of a document peeked out, with Trust Fund and Claire Bennett in bold. My gut twisted. I grabbed it before Dad could stop me. "Nora, that's private," he barked, but I was already reading. My hands shook as the truth hit. My parents had set up a $400,000 trust fund for Claire. Only Claire. The same parents who'd told me they couldn't help with my college tuition, leaving me to juggle jobs and loans. The same parents who'd leaned on me to bankroll their lakeside lifestyle while secretly securing my sister's future. "When were you going to tell me?" I whispered, the pieces of my life snapping into place. The favoritism, the endless demands, the way I was always expected to give while Claire was handed everything. It wasn't my imagination. Dad snatched the document back, muttering, "You weren't supposed to see that." I stared at him. "That's why you never helped with my loans, isn't it? While I was working myself to death, you were building her a fortune." Mum finally spoke, her voice soft and syrupy. "Nora, honey, Claire needs more support. You've always been so strong, so independent. We're so proud of you." The words were a slap. I was being punished for my hustle, while Claire was rewarded for her dreams. "All those times I asked for help," I said, memories flooding back. "When I was working 2 jobs in college. When my car died. When I needed a deposit for my apartment. You said there was no money. But there was. It was just for Claire." Dad shifted, uncomfortable. "Finances are complicated, Nora. We had to plan for the future." "Just not mine," I shot back. He changed the subject, sliding the tax bill toward me. "Taxes are due next month, and the Homeowners Association raised their fees." I couldn't believe it. After what I'd just learned, he still expected me to pay. Something inside me snapped. I wasn't their ATM anymore. "I'll handle it," I said quietly, picking up the bill. Dad relaxed, missing the steel in my voice. The drive back to my Boise apartment was a haze. The mountains, usually a comfort, felt like they were closing in. I'd been a fool, thinking my sacrifices were for family. At home, I ignored my buzzing phone, probably Dad checking I'd pay up, and opened my laptop. I pulled up a spreadsheet I'd kept for years. Family contributions. Every payment I'd made was there. 6 years of property taxes, $52,200. Claire's car payments, $14,400. A new dock for the cabin, $15,000. Mom's heart procedure not covered by insurance, $9,800. Family trips I'd gifted, $2,860. The total, $119,000. My stomach churned, all while they'd funneled money to Claire. My phone pinged. A text from Claire. "Dad says you're being stingy about the taxes. Don't be greedy, Nora." Then one from Dad. "We're counting on you. Don't let us down." No thanks, no acknowledgement, just demands. I laughed, a bitter sound, and shut off my phone. The next morning, I called in sick and drove to see Maya Torres, the financial advisor who'd helped me grow my portfolio. I showed her the spreadsheet. Her eyes widened at the total. Nora, this is staggering. You've been enabling them while sabotaging your own future. I know, I said, and I just found out they've got a trust fund for Claire, $400,000. Maya's face hardened. That's not just unfair, it's exploitative. We spent hours strategizing. She connected me with Elena Ruiz, a forensic accountant who handled family financial disputes. You need every transaction documented, Maya said. Receipts, bank statements, texts. If you want to confront them, you need proof. Is this worth it? I asked. It could tear us apart. Maya looked at me. Nora, they've been tearing you apart for years. It's time to protect yourself. I left her office feeling a spark of something new. Control. A week later, I sat in Elena's office, surrounded by my records. Your documentation is meticulous, she said, sorting through checks and transfers. Most people don't track like this. My trading habits had made me obsessive about records. She slid a report across the desk, $119,000 plus $16,200 in lost investment interest based on my portfolio's growth. The real cost? $135,200. What's next? I asked. Elena leaned back. If you want legal action, we could argue unjust enrichment, but family cases are tricky without contracts. If you just want leverage or closure, I can prepare a notarized statement of your contributions. The statement, I said. For now. My phone buzzed as she worked. Dad. Taxes due soon. Send payment. Claire. Dad says you're causing trouble. After all they've done for you? I silenced them, my resolve hardening. 3 days later, Elena sent the notarized report. It listed every dollar I'd given, with Maya's verification and interest calculations. That night, Mum called. Nora, your father's worried about the taxes. They're due next week. Her tone was practiced, like she was soothing a child. You've always been so good about this. I took a breath. I'm not paying any more, Mum. Not the taxes, not Claire's car, nothing. A pause. What? But we're relying on you. You mean Claire's trust fund can't cover it? I asked. Silence. Your father told me you saw that. She stammered. You have to understand. I understand, I cut in. I've given $119,000 over 6 years while you told me you were broke. I paid for this cabin, for Claire's car, for your surgery, while you saved $400,000 for her. I'm done. That's not fair, she whispered. No, it's not, I said, and hung up. I knew Dad wouldn't let this go. He'd always seen my money as his right, not my choice. The next morning, I made 3 moves. I cancelled Claire's car payment autodraft. I removed myself as a payer on family accounts, and I transferred $135,000 from my trading account to a new fund, Nora's Freedom. For the first time, I felt light. The backlash was instant. By noon, my phone exploded. Claire, my car payment bounced. Are you trying to tank my credit? Fix this. Dad, this is unacceptable. Call me now. Mum left a voicemail, her voice shaky. Nora, please. The tax notice has a late fee. Claire's car could be repossessed. We don't know why you're doing this. Let's talk. No mention of the trust fund. No gratitude for my years of giving. Just pressure to keep paying. Then my intercom buzzed. Ms. Bennett, your father's here, the security guard said. He's demanding to see you. Tell him I'm not here, I replied. He says he won't leave. Then call the police. Half an hour later, my cousin Liam texted, just saw Uncle Dan escorted out of your building by cops. What's going on? I replied, family money dispute. I'm fine. His response surprised me. Good for you. They've always treated you like Claire's bank. That evening, Claire showed up at my door, arms crossed. What's your deal? She snapped. My car payment's declined. Dad says you're screwing us on the taxes. Why? Because I've paid $119,000 to this family, while Dad built you a $400,000 trust fund. I said. Her face flickered, shock, then guilt, then defiance. That's for my future. I need it. You're fine with your trading money. Fine, I echoed. I paid your car note, funded vacations, fixed the cabin's dock while you got everything. You never complained, she muttered, because I didn't know I was being used. She softened, touching my arm. Nora, I get you're mad, but the cabin's our family's heart. Dad says we could lose it without the taxes. I stepped back. They can use your trust fund. Her face hardened. That's not fair. None of this is, I said, closing the door. 2 weeks passed. The tax deadline came and went. I stayed silent, focusing on work and my growing portfolio. Without family expenses, I could save for a condo, maybe a cabin of my own. Then an email from Uncle Mark, Dad's brother. Nora, Dan's asking me for a $12,000 loan for cabin taxes. Says you've abandoned the family. This isn't like you. I laughed bitterly. Dad was begging relatives rather than touch Claire's fund. I sent Mark a PDF of my contributions and the trust fund details. His reply, I had no idea. Dan said, he was supporting you both equally. This is wrong. The next day, Liam called. There's a family meeting at your parents' place this weekend. Dad's calling it to discuss your betrayal. They're trying to guilt you into paying again. Plus penalties. Are you going? I asked. Yeah, he said. And so are you. You need to tell everyone the truth. I'll back you. I agreed, nerves buzzing. Saturday, I arrived at my parents' house in a sharp blazer, my briefcase holding Elena's report. The room went quiet as I entered. Dad stood by the mantel, mid-speech. Claire and Mom sat together, tense. Aunts, uncles, and cousins watched, confused. Nora, Dad said, recovering. Glad you're here. We're discussing your refusal to help with the cabin. I bet, I said, opening my briefcase. And I'm sure you shared all the financial details. His eyes narrowed. This is about family duty. I pulled out the report. Then let's talk about my duty. 6 years, $119,000, taxes, Claire's car, vacations, Mum's surgery. While you set up a $400,000 trust fund for Claire. I passed copies around. I paid for this family while you told me you had nothing for my loans or rent. The room buzzed. Aunt Susan spoke up. What trust fund? Dad stayed silent. So I explained. They've been funding Claire's startup and lifestyle, while I covered their bills. Voices overlapped. Dad's face reddened. This is private. Uncle Mark stood. Private? You've been lying to us, Dan. Nora's paid for that cabin, and you've treated her like an outsider. I hadn't expected allies. Dad glared. At me, but I saw something new in his eyes. Fear. And faintly, respect. The meeting ended with Dad storming out, Mum trailing him. Claire sat still, avoiding eyes. Aunt Susan studied the report. Dan made it sound like you didn't need help. Nora, this is shameful. Uncle Mark nodded. You've paid those taxes for years. You should own part of that cabin. I hadn't thought of that. I don't want it, I said. I just want them to see what they've done. Liam squeezed my shoulder. They need more than that, Nora. They need consequences. Days later, Dad texted, taxes are due. No apology, just entitlement. Then Mum called, hesitant. Your father's struggling. The cabin's his legacy. More than treating us equally? I asked. Silence. I've given $119,000, Mum. Dad gave Claire $400,000. I'm done. She sighed. I know it wasn't right. Your father decides the money. Not anymore, I said. The next morning, I sent Dad the notarized report, the $119,000 circled. No words needed. An hour later, Claire called, shaken. Dad showed me your records. $119,000. I didn't know. Dad said I was helping a little, right? I said. He used me while building your fund. Her voice broke. I feel awful. I never questioned it. It's not all on you, I said. But you benefited. A pause. I'm fixing this, she said, and hung up. The next day, Dad's lawyer sent papers. The cabin taxes were paid, and I'd been granted a 25% ownership stake. A note explained Claire had used her trust fund to cover it. Dad texted, "This wasn't needed. Family helps family." I didn't reply. He still didn't get it. Mum texted, "I'm proud of you for standing up." I should have done it years ago. Then Claire called. I told Dad to split the trust fund evenly. He fought, but Uncle Mark and Aunt Susan backed me. It's happening tomorrow. I exhaled, not for the money, but for what it meant. Fairness. Thank you, Claire. No, she said. Thank you for making us see. As I watched the lake sparkle outside my window, I realized the cabin wasn't my legacy. My real victory was freedom. From their demands, their lies, and the weight of being less. Sometimes family isn't about holding on, it's about letting go and building something true.